Hello traders and investors, welcome back to another episode of Trend Trader. In today's video, we're going to be going through the recent People Group result. For those people that are not familiar with People Group is the parent company of EasyEquities among other companies. Most of us are familiar with EasyEquities. I also use EasyEquities as my stockbroker, but it's more than EasyEquities. There's also EasyProperties, eToro Asset Management, GT247, Rise, and EasyCrypto. So if you go to the People Group website, there is some information that you can find about the company, such as the share price of the company. There's even an option to buy the share. At the moment, the share price of People Group is R1.70. You can buy this on the EasyEquities platform, but you can also buy it from other stock brokerage in case you are not using EasyEquities. And if you don't have an EasyEquities account yet, we will leave a link on the description where you can easily sign up for your own EasyEquities account. So what we're looking at, or what we're interested in, is the recent financials that they have released, but there's plenty of other information that you can find there. One of their services is Easy ETFs. So if you're interested in in ETFs and you don't have a lot of information when it comes to exchange traded funds, you can easily go there, and then you will be able to use that portal to find the information about ETF, so that you can make informed decisions when it comes to investing. And then I would like to ask those people that haven't subscribed to please consider subscribing. And if you find value in this video, please make sure that you smash that like button. If you have any comment or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section. So when we go to their financials, because that is where we are interested in, that is where we are going to find that information that they have just recently released. So we can see here there is a letter from the CEO. The good thing about the letter, we can also find it in the full result, but there's a lot that the CEO said. Among other things, there's what they saw was some growth that was happening in the last 12 months. And then they say that People Group has continued to make great progress according to various key metrics that they are using. And they've also concluded the acquisition of EasyProperties, EasyCrypto, and Rise. So there are these things will have material impact in People Group financial performance. Then you can also download previous financial year reports and a lot of other information there that you can find. But you are interested in the result for the full year that ended on the 31st of August 2022. So when you click on it, you get this nice document there, the annual report. We mentioned that they have different companies. You can see under the People Group umbrella, there is EasyEquities, EasyProperties, EasyCrypto, Rise, GT247, which offers contract for differences, which are short for CFD trading, and then eToro Asset Management. So it's a big document. You can see it goes all the way to about 161 pages, but we are not interested in the whole document. There are some things that we are interested in that we'll be covering. If you look at the group structure of a People Group, we know that for example, EasyEquities, it is a joint venture between People Group Limited and Sanlam. People Group owns 70% of EasyEquities, and the 30% is held by Sanlam. Sanlam, for those people that may not be familiar, is one of the companies that have pioneered online trading. So, and also a broker, sometimes they need a clearing desk. Sanlam is a big institution and it can assist when it comes to clearing the transactions. But there are companies that they own as standalone, such as GT247 and eToro Asset Management, and they own 50% of EasyCrypto, or 49% of EasyCrypto. Back in the day, GT247 used to be called One World Trader, but as you can see, it seems like there's a subsidiary that is in Mauritius. And through EasyEquities, then they own 100% EasyEquities International. For some people, we know that we have access to EasyEquities USD account, but it seems in this case they own 100% EasyEquities, private company that is listed, or that is not listed. It's a private company that is in Australia. Remember, now you can also invest in Australia, you can invest in UK, and you can invest in US. They also own 100% of Rise, which is retirement, investment, and savings for everyone. They've also concluded this. Initially, they were holding about 50% of Rise, but now they have a full 100% ownership. And also, they have 100% of EasyProperties. For those that are not familiar with EasyProperties, it's like a property stokvel. Investors pool money together to own a property, and they receive the rental income out of that property. At some point, there is an auction for those investors who want to exit their investment. They can sell their shares to other investors, or those that want to buy, they can buy those shares from the people that want to sell their shares. Is a crypto. People have been talking about crypto these days. We're not going to cover that part. So as a group highlight, or financial highlight, we can see that People Group increased their revenue by 33%. This was an increase from 205 million in year 2021 going to 274 million. However, you can see that the operating expenses they increased, so that's a lot of money that is being spent in order to grow the company. And then there is in this case, the way that they report their profit. Ideally, I would like to see a company report their profit after tax, or at least the earnings before interest, tax, amortization, and depreciation. But in this case, they speak of profit before fair value adjustment and tax. So this is a bit complicated for those people that are familiar with IFRS and other forms of accounting. Then they can tell us whether this is the correct way of sharing the profit or the correct way of declaring the profit. Nonetheless, we can see that the profit has increased by over 20 million. Previously it was 26 million, now it has jumped to 40.3 million. So I guess that is a good thing. One key metric that we pay attention to is the basic earnings per share. In this case, we can see that the basic earnings per share have decreased by 16%. Previously they were 4.46 cents, now they are 3.71 cents per share. Ideally, whenever we want to make an investment, we prefer that the company is growing its earnings per share by 20%, but we can tolerate positive 16%, not negative 16%. And then we can see that the attributable earnings, they decreased by 0.8%. Previously they were 44.3 million, and now they are still around 44 million. It means that there's no growth, so it's just a marginal decrease because the value is still the same. And then they talk about that People Group acquired the remaining 49% of EasyCrypto so that they can own 100% of that business of EasyCrypto. And also they acquired EasyProperties and also acquired that 50% in Rise. So we can see here that EasyEquities, or People Group, not EasyEquities, has been on a buying spree. Hopefully this can help bolster the company revenue in future, since now they own 100% of those businesses, especially if there are more and more clients that are joining the business that are making use of these businesses. Okay, so then they break down the income or the financials of each segment or each individual company. As most people are familiar with EasyEquities, sometimes when people want to invest in this company, they use EasyEquities as a proxy of why they want to invest in People Group. So it is worthwhile to look at the EasyEquities results. We can see that the revenue of EasyEquities has increased to 214 million, previously from 172 million, so that's a 24% jump. The number of investors has grown by over 41%. That is a good thing. The more we place trade on the platform, the company can potentially bring in revenue. But remember, revenue is not profit. We saw that the expenses have grown by over 38%. So you can bring in money, but if you are burning money at a high rate as well, then you might not make the profit that you want to make. But as we can see, active clients have increased by over 50%, despite the pandemic, which is something that they cited in their stock exchange news services. So hopefully in future, the increase in active clients and the registered client is also going to translate into higher revenue. And if they can manage to reduce their cost, then this can easily translate into profit. And then The platform assets, I wonder what are the platform assets, but they have increased 18.3% to 37 billion. And the retail inflows, these retail inflows is the amount that investors are depositing into their EasyEquities account. So combined, it has grown by 7.4% to just over 9 billion, which is good. The good thing about this, it shows that people are interested in investing and people are taking advantage of this opportunities to invest in the stock market via small companies like Purple Group, which is a good thing. It means that people are saving or investing for their future. And then, as you can see, despite the fact that the cost or the operating cost have increased, but the cost of servicing a client on the platform, on the EasyEquities platform, has decreased from 205 rand to 173 rand, meaning that now it costs less to service a customer on the platform. We can see that there is a share of rice profit which increased by over 200%. Previously it was 1.4 million, which was a big jump as it went to 5.2 million. So that is good. Also, we see the profit before fair value adjustment. It also decreased in this case. You can see that this share of rice profit, I'm not sure whether they're talking about the profit of EasyEquities or they're talking about the profit of Rice, the other subsidiary. But what we see here is that the profit, it has significantly decreased by 34% from 48 million to 34 million. So there is a problem here that needs to be sorted. And there are other things that they talk about that may not necessarily be interesting, but you can see that in terms of active easy crypto clients, they have increased by 39% from 110,000 to over 152,000. Now we saw that there are some issues with easy crypto. We saw FTX blowing up. We don't know what impact that it might have on investors. Not to say that easy crypto has exposure to FTX. That is simply saying that investors going to continue to buy crypto through platforms such as FTX, or whatever happened to FTX, how is that going to affect the investor? Are they still going to want to buy crypto or not? That is what we are saying. We're not going to cover GT247 that much because not plenty of people are interested in CFDs trading. Majority of you guys are investors, so you prefer a platform like EasyEquities where you get to own the shares. Then there is the letter from the CEO. The CEO said a lot. Remember, in this channel, we're not interested in news. What we're interested in is the result that are coming from the company. So what drives the group as Purple Group? They talk about shareholder alignment. We know that some of these management are invested in Purple Group. They have a growth strategy. They've been going to different countries trying to bring us those shares so that we can be able to invest in those companies. And there's a lot of things that they are saying about the business, which is a good thing. And then in terms of business insight, if you want to invest in a successful company, that company should be a market leader. And they're growing customers across various regions. As we mentioned, that they also now have a company in Australia. Okay, and there's again a lot of things are happening in there. So we've already covered the result, but if you look at the consolidated result, so we can easily see how the result start from the revenue coming in, going all the way down to either a profit or a loss. So we see that the revenue that the business generated, it's in millions, so it's 274 million. And there are a lot of expenses. The operating expense of 212 million from 274 with an expenses of 212 million, and also commissions and research, which is about 5 million. So from this we can see that whatever remains, it's 5.2 million from that 274. So that is a small amount there. Okay, it's also the part of revenue that is coming, so it's that 274 plus that 5 million, but remember you need to separate these values there. And then the profit before fair value, they report it as 61 million, and there are a lot of other expenses that you need to separate there. And then you see we get to profit before tax, which is 84.8 million. and they've paid a tax of 13 million. So it's a good thing the company is generating a profit so that they can pay tax. We need a tax so that we can move the country forward, and the profit for the period is 70.9 million. So now in this profit and loss statement, it is clear, we can see that the company is in fact generating profit, even though they speak about the profit before fair value and all the other things. The most important thing is that we can see that the profit before tax is positive, and after paying tax the company still remains with profit for the period. So that is good, it is encouraging, it shows that the business is making money. Okay, then from the profit we can look at the basic earnings per share, which are 3.71 or 3.71 cents. Like they mentioned previously, it was 4.46 cents, so there's that decrease of 16 cents. But the fact that the company is profitable and also there is a positive earnings, it shows that it is a good company to consider investing in. Then we've already covered the highlight and everything of this. We've already went through the financial review on each individual company, of which it is covered. You can see that EasyEquities Group is a company that brings in the bulk of that profit, even though the profit of GT247 has also increased, but the bulk of the money comes from EasyEquities. So there's a lot that you can read in there. The other things are not necessarily important. The important thing is that the business is profitable, the earnings per share are positive, even though there's that slight decrease. And if you want to buy the EasyEquities shares, you can see that you can buy them for R1.70 per share. How the share is going to perform moving forward is another issue. You need to take other things into consideration, but as things stand, Purple Group is profitable, which is encouraging. So that's it that I wanted to share with you today. I hope this information is going to assist you to make an informed decision when it comes to investing. Once again, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And if you find value in this video, please make sure that you smash that like button. I will see you in the next video.